Awesome. Thanks, Danny. I appreciate you. First of all, I want to thank you guys for hopping on. I know it's summertime, but it's so important as leaders to stay plugged in and lead by example. And every single Tuesday we do this call, and I love it. I know it pumps me up, and the feedback we get from it is awesome. And to just be blessed to get to hear from all of these different 200Ks in the company and hear their journey, their tips. It's just been priceless. And we've had some amazing people on this call. And this week is no exception because we have Haylee Monk on with us, who is a 200K with LaBelle. Again, another person not on our personal team. And I'm just so blessed because it's so awesome to be part of a company where every single person I ask to be on this, whether they're on our team or not, they've always been so gracious. They're always up for it. And it's just a special thing to be a part of a company that people do things for other people. Even if they're not making money off of you, they're there to share their tips and their story. And I think it's just such an awesome thing. And I'm super excited about today's call specifically because I don't know Haylee's story. So it's going to be just as much of a surprise to me as it is to you guys. And I'm excited to hear that. So Haylee, you're probably going to have to unmute yourself.
Hey, Lisa, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm fantastic. Summer is awesome.
You
With my
look
kids
fantastic.
all
I'm like,
stop.
I have my video off. It's like 9 o'clock in Arizona and I have not gotten in the shower yet. So that usually doesn't happen till around noon. The benefits of working from home. I don't have to shower till like noon or some days not at all. People that know me are laughing. They're like, yeah, I definitely know Lisa probably is not showering today. I am so excited to interview you and hear your story. And I kind of wanted to start like way back, like what you were doing before you found network marketing. And then did you do anything else like before LaBelle? Were you in any other kind of businesses? If so, were you successful at them? And then how did you find LaBelle? And then we'll kind of go from there.
Sure. So I was a teacher for 8 years, actually. I taught middle school agriculture. I taught for 8 years and then I had my son and then I was like, I cannot go back. I could not leave him. Like I just couldn't do it. So I took out, I'm from Florida, so it is noon here. So I have showered. But I'm from Florida and I took out my Florida retirement, all of it. And I bought like this little boutique. It was like this cute little store. And I did that for about a year. And in that time, so I had not done direct sales, but I had done business. So for about a year before I started LaBelle. In that time, before my son was born, and then, when he was born, my friend Lindsay Corbett had been reaching out to me, trying to get me to thrive with her. And I didn't think I needed it. I have 2 stepkids. I had my son. I was doing all the things. I was in pretty good shape, I thought. I didn't think that I needed it, but I was running on caffeine, but I thought that was totally normal. And I actually started thriving because I felt guilty because she had been asking me so many times. And we both coach cheerleading. I coach at St. Leo University. And she coaches high school cheerleading, and that's how we met. And so I used to make the big obnoxious cheer bows. That was like part of my boutique and stuff like that for like the, all-star teams and the high school teams. And I had made bows for her team for like 4 years in a row. And that summer, so the summer before I started promoting, so I was a customer first. When I started thriving, I had made her team bows for like the 4th time, and she actually paid for them herself. And the total was like $600 or something, which looking back is ridiculous for cheer bows. But regardless, she paid for them herself. And at the time I was thinking like, all right, so you coach cheerleading, your husband's a firefighter. How are you affording, like, how do you have $600 in your bank account to buy these bows yourself? Because that just wasn't, like, my mind was blown. But, as soon as I ran her credit card for those bows, she was like, so are you ready to thrive with me yet? And I was like, dang it. Like, now I have to. Like, I totally felt obligated because she just, purchased from me for the 4th time. And so I was like, all right, well, we'll thrive. I told my husband, we'll thrive with Lindsay, like 1 month, and then like I won't have to do it again and I won't feel guilty. So I think I'd ordered from like my sister-in-law, tried to do It Works for a little bit, but that was the only time I'd ever even ordered from an MLM. This was July 1st of 2016. And so we got our first month. We started first day. My husband was a day one thriver. Like he was like, oh my gosh, I feel fantastic. And I thought he was crazy. And at the time, so this was 2016, and in Florida, it was growing, but in my area, no one was thriving yet. And so I hadn't really seen a lot on social media or anything. I wasn't expecting, like I didn't have this preconceived notion that I should feel fantastic. I just kind of thought these are vitamins, like, we'll be healthier. I didn't really understand it, but he's like hopping around. I feel fantastic. This is the best thing ever. And I was like, you're nuts. You just have on a sticker. Like, I don't know, whatever. So we keep thriving because he's loving it. Like he's our mix master. He makes our lifestyle mix every morning. Like he's going through, and I'm doing it with him because he's loving it. And it legit took about 6 weeks for me to really like realize the things that were happening and the benefits that I was getting. So like I was running every day, but I used to have to ice my knees after I ran. And so it was like I had this aha moment where I was like, wait, I haven't iced my knees in a really long time. Maybe there is something to this Thrive stuff. And then, so this is like a tip that I love to tell people. Lindsay sent me a Plus Line pack, like out of the blue. She just sent me like a bunch of samples of Plus Line things, like Activate, whatever, all the things. And it had a black label in there. And when I put on that black label, that's when I felt like I was thriving, like that thriving feeling. And I was like, oh, like you're not crazy. You do feel fantastic. Like this is what it's supposed to be like. And that was the game changer for me. And that was probably, I noticed the benefits about 6 weeks in. 2 months in, maybe I got that Plus Line pack with the black label. And that was the big aha moment for me where I was like, oh my gosh, people need to feel like this. Like, holy cow. And so then I was still a customer, but I was sharing. I was posting on social media. I'd show my DFT and I'd be like, I'm thriving. I feel fantastic. That was probably like October, November, still posting. Around comes January of 2017, and my son got into the preschool that I wanted him to get into. So if you guys were at Thrivepalooza, you heard me kind of tell this story. So my son got into the preschool that I wanted him to get into, and I needed to make some more money to come up with that $585 a month that the preschool was. It just wasn't in our budget. So I realized that I was kind of already promoting anyway because I was sharing. And so I called Lindsay and I was like, well, do you think I can make like $585 a month if I like do this thing? Like how much does it cost to start? So we went and had lunch and she explained the whole thing and she's like, it's free. And I was like, no way, it's crazy. Like nothing's free. And she's like, yeah, just do this. And I just listened. She's like, you already posted so people know you're thriving. Just send out some messages, like go through your friends list. And I did. And, that was January 12th of 2017, VIP 800 in like a couple days, 1600 shortly after, 4K iPad, 10 days. But I was listening, like do the things. And I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll just do the things. So no direct sales before. I was just a listener, she said to do it. I did it. And that's kind of how we got started.
Right. You kept it simple. Yeah. You listened to your upline. You kept it simple. And I like how you were a customer first. So like your social media was already kind of seeing you use it, so it wasn't like this just jumping into selling it and people are like, what's going on? But you also, because you did own kind of a store and you seem outgoing to me, you already probably had somewhat of a network, like people that trusted you. And I always like to talk about that a little bit because there's people that come into network marketing and, they've never done it before. They're a stay-at-home mom. They barely get out of the house. They have a close-knit group and they're comparing themselves to somebody else that comes in and goes 4K in 10 days. You know what I mean? And it's like, you don't know their backstory, their network. And a lot of times it's not even network marketing, but it's another business that people held, that they started meeting people, growing a network, didn't even realize it, but gaining people's trust. And they're more likely to listen to you, you know, so you kind of had that going on already. So take me to 12K, then 40K, 80K, and 200K. Take me on that journey. How long in between and how long it took to get to 200K?
Yeah. So like this was January. And so if you guys have been doing this, obviously you guys are all leaders. So you guys have been doing this for a while. You guys know that January to April is like fire. Like LaBelle likes to offer those super big bonuses. People have, you know, January, people are starting that New Year's resolution. Here comes spring break. People are trying on bathing suits. That's like our fire time in the business. So I feel very blessed that that's when I came in because people were excited. And like Lisa said, I had that network that I had built from other things, you know, like the store or through cheerleading or the 3 different universities that I went to in college. I had a big network. But it was also in that great fire time. So when my network is seeing that I got this $399 iPad bonus, but then I also got a 4K rank advancement at the same time, you know, people were seeing like, oh my gosh, like that's incredible. Like, is that real? 36 days was 12K. And I think that we did a really good job at duplicating VIP 800, VIP 1600. And that's really how 12K happened. We really just kept going with that. 12K, 36 days, I got my car on the day I hit. Like I knew I was going to hit. I went to the dealership. I wanted to get my car. And for me, it's not because I guess I had a Kia. I had a Kia Sorento and I was leasing it. And so my car payment for my lease was the same price. Well, actually it was more than the payment was going to be on my Mercedes GL 450 that I wanted to get. So it was kind of a no-brainer if I was going to pay the same amount and now I'm going to get $800 a month to pay for it. It didn't really change my monthly payments. So I was like, I'm going to get this car. Lindsay said, as soon as you get the car, people will see the car. Once again, she said it, I did it. She was successful. So I was just kind of listening. We got the car. And I'm from a tiny little town, so like our county fair is like a really big deal. And so it was county fair time the day that I got my car. I pull up to the county fair and everyone could like see the car. They could touch it. It was real. And I really think that's something that people need to do. I know that it's hard sometimes in people's budget or it's like kind of scary, but that car, to be able to feel it, touch it, people see it, is such a big deal. And getting it, I'm not saying day one, but getting it quickly is very important because if you continue to say, you know, I got that auto bonus, and your network doesn't see a car, they don't believe you that you are getting an auto bonus. And then as you go, you know, maybe you get your car 6 months down the road, that whole like, oh, I got a car thing, it's gone. That whole excitement of that to your network. So that was something that really changed my network's mindset, I think, when they saw that car and they saw those pictures on social media, that there really is a car. I can really see it in public. I can see it driving down, you know, the street in our town. That was a game changer. And we went quick. I mean, I got that car on a Sunday. By the next Saturday, we doubled from 12K to 26K, just in a week. And I think that was huge. And like I said, it was during rank advancement. So, you know, then we hit 40. So January 4K, February 12K, March 40K, Thrive Palooza, which was just, we called it Dallas. That year I hit 80K in Dallas, on like the last day of the month for the 80K rank advancement in 17. And then we stopped. We were 80K and we were 80K and we were 80K and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And one thing, it was summer and I didn't, you know, this was my first taste of direct sales. I knew from the store, from my boutique, that summers were slow, but I didn't really understand that summers were slow in every business. And so, you know, April happened, we were 80K. May, June, we were like 89, 90, and I didn't really get it. And I thought, I'm doing all the things. Why are we not growing? But again, like looking back, it was summertime, and that's just something that happens, and you have to work twice as hard in the summer when it's slower as you do in that time, because it's almost like January to April is like magical extra time when people are like ready to thrive and people are ready to hustle and like all these things, like it's like growing and springtime and in all the things. And then summer is like that stagnant slow. So we really had to like bust booty through the summer to even like keep that 80K. Then let's see. So October comes along. So we're still 80K. I mean, we're maybe like 90, 95. October comes along and something that at the time I thought was like terrible happened, but looking back, it was an amazing, amazing thing that happened. So I had a level 2 promoter who I had back then, because I wasn't 200K, I had my chat still, my big, huge team chat, who posted in the team chat, she's like, hey, does anyone have any tips on how to do this? And I'm like, like, why, it's kind of weird that you need to ask for tips. Like, I wonder why her upline hasn't given her tips or what's going on. So I messaged her and I was like, hey, what's your number? And I called her and I was like, all right, hey, so like, have you logged into your CloudLoft office and seen your VIP qualifications, whatever? And this girl was she was on day 8 of her VIP window. And she's like, no, I don't know how to log into my cloud. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, you don't know how to log? You're on day 8 and you don't know how to get into your cloud office? Like, how did you even order? And she's like, oh, well, so-and-so signed me up and she took my card. And I'm like, oh, no. And so turns out the girl that signed her up was basically trying to get qualified for wherever we were going, Puerto Vallarta, somewhere. She was trying to get qualified, so she just sold that upgrade and kind of forgot about this girl. So that kind of was when I realized the duplication wasn't happening the way I thought it was happening, and I kind of had to like go broader. I realized that just teaching my personals how to duplicate wasn't working, because some people just aren't, there's so many different personalities. Some people just aren't leaders. They don't want to be leaders. They just happen to be your personally enrolled. And now they have people that want to work. So you have to like, go down. And so what happened was I started a totally new chat for people that were in their VIP window only. And we set up a system. So I got with my leaders and I'm like, all right, if you have someone you see in your cloud office, so-and-so enrolled a new brand promoter, you are going to make sure that whoever enrolled them adds them to this chat for VIP people. You're going to make sure they welcome them and they know who their uplines are. So if they're going to, make sure that welcome says, welcome, blah, blah, blah. Your chain of support is so, and so, and so, and so. And then I post like 3 tips every day and they stay in there for 14 days and they get a lot of information. In fact, Lisa, I have in there are one of those. So there's 3 tips every day, and 2 of them for the week are actually some of your videos that you've made on YouTube, like duplicating the samples and things like that. So it's not a ton of information at the same time, and it's not, they're not overly overwhelmed, but they're getting all that information and kind of getting those tips and having a support system there just in case their upline or the person that enrolled them dips out and like, doesn't do their job. So from there, that's when we really started growing. That's when we went from that 100 to March of 2018 was when we hit 200K. So we grew from that November, again, through those fire months, January, February, March, to 200K.
There's like a couple things that really stand out to me. The first one, when you said, and we had talked about, we were kind of talking back and forth a little bit before this Zoom, and you said the same thing you said on here, you have to work twice as hard in the summer. And that was such a aha moment. I was like, oh my gosh, you have to say that on this call or on this Zoom, because it's true. Like, you have got to work twice as hard, because here's the deal. Not everybody you sign up is going to work out. Not everybody you sign up is going to take this as serious as you are. And in order to like maintain or at least keep yourself afloat, you've got to pick up that slack. I mean, if you're taking this seriously, if you want to be 200K, you've got to work twice as hard in the summer that you do during the rest of the year. I always say that twice as hard in the summer and twice as hard in December, because they're always really bad months. But if you're doing what you should be doing, you at least know that your growth is going to happen during those busy times. Because if you're constantly doing the right things, planting seeds, doubling up, then when we hit these times where people start signing again, you're going to have all these people in your network that you've connected with because you kept doing those right things. And I also, oh my gosh, so important is when you talked about reaching down. I know for a fact that is one of the biggest problems in general, in probably all of LaBelle and all of network marketing, is people get so, we think that people are just going to get it. It's so simple. It's so easy. All you do is sign your 2 customers and 2 promoters and repeat it. But yet, and we think that, oh, it's just going to, duplicate down. And as long as we're keeping in touch with those, personally enrolled, we're all good to go. I mean, how many people on this call every day, like, if you're not happy with your business, you can't say you're doing all the right things if you're not every day logging into your cloud office and clicking on who is in their VIP period. You as a leader should be reaching out to every single person in their VIP, I think. I mean, I've got a lot. I know you do too. You know what I mean, Haylee? We get to that level and you get a lot, but guess what? It surprises me so much when I'll reach into like level 4, somebody's in their VIP and they're literally lost. Like the person that signed them is not getting back to them. And it's been those people that have been in level 4, 5, 6. It's been those people that have ended up being rock stars in my business, and may not have been if it weren't for the fact that they either reached out to find the help or somebody reached down to help them. And I think it's so important because how many people right now, it's summer, how many people do you guys have in your VIP period that may need you? They just need that little bit of encouragement. And I mean, your girl didn't even know how to log into the cloud office. I mean, it's true. It happens. Like we just assume, oh, they probably placed the order. And you're right. We have so many people that we sign that they're just not taking it like as serious as we're taking it, or they're just not wanting to go at the same pace that you want to go at. And so they're not plugging their people in like they should. And they're not, spreading that direction down to those people. As simple as it is, they're not doing it. And if we're taking for granted that our people are doing it, that is such a huge mistake. I mean, if you want to be 200K, you got to dive in. It's your team. You've got to go figure it out, not wait for somebody else to do it. I want to talk a little bit about, so everything you've said today so far is super, super powerful. And the one thing I know I'm taking away today is I've got to work doubly hard this summer. And every single person on here does too. I want to know how you it's a 2-part question. First of all, is your team huge on like third-party credibility, like on 3-way calls, messages, that type of thing? And like, do you feel like that's huge? Like it's a huge part of people staying connected? Because I know for me, ever since I started doing welcome messages, that's helped out a lot. Because if I know somebody's signing someone and they put me in a welcome message, that's really helped. But also, I've also seen people in my business that were kind of stuck, and they were, growing their network and getting people interested, but they weren't closing them. And as soon as they started kind of doing the third party thing, their business really started taking off. So how are you guys with that? And then I also kind of wanted to know how you continue to grow your network. I mean, you've been in the business like what, 3 years? It's like people think it gets easier, it gets harder. So are you an Instagram girl, a Facebook girl? Are you an out and about girl? Like, how do you continue to grow your network so that you're meeting new people?
Oh, okay. So the third party, for sure, that was also something that I feel like we didn't do well in the beginning. And it was something that as soon as we started doing, about the same time as we did that VIP chat, it really flipped a switch in our business. I think that I feel like, phone call on the phone is very generational. And sometimes it's very hard to get people that are younger generations actually on a phone call. And that 3-way chat with voice messenger is huge. So someone can actually hear your voice, or even a video, sending a quick video, something like that is huge. But like you said earlier, diving into those VIP reports, especially for, your new promoters coming in, on Monday on my calendar, that is my VIP report day. And I always go through and I send every one of them a voice message or a video, just kind of introducing myself, letting them know that I'm their 200K upline. Asking them a question at the end has always been really beneficial. It's like, tell me something you're struggling with, or, whatever it is, so that they feel like they need to reply. And then that builds that connection. And then they feel like they can reach out constantly. So I always encourage that welcome call when someone joins. Sometimes they don't happen. Sometimes people don't get on them. But as long as I get on in that chat and they hear my voice or see my face, I feel like at least we're building some kind of connection, because building that connection is the most important thing. Because people will see, people come into the business and, I don't see myself as anyone great or fancy or whatever, but people are intimidated by people that are higher ranked or that have been really successful, and they're afraid to reach out. Or something I found is people are always like, oh, well, she's a 200K, so she's so busy. And then I'll have a day where I don't have a single 3-way call because everyone thinks I'm so busy that they don't reach out to me. And I'm like, no, that's why I want to be busy. Like, please put me on these calls. So I think making sure you really get that connection, whether it's, with new promoters down the line, you're digging into your cloud, looking at your reports and seeing where that volume's coming from and reaching out, is big. Another thing kind of on that and kind of off topic is I've found that if I find someone in there that's like doing well, maybe they have a lot of personal volume, but maybe not a lot of QV, maybe they don't have a team, and then reaching down and inviting them to speak on something has been really beneficial. Like, speak on this Zoom or speak on this call. It kind of gives them their own validation, like, oh, wait, I am good at this. I can do this. And it kind of lights a fire under them, that you recognize them for what they are doing, and then they feel capable of doing it. So that's kind of something with that third-party validation as far as promoters go. And then what was the other question? You asked me something else. What was the other thing that you asked me?
Growing your network. Like, how do you continue to keep it going? Because it gets harder.
It's so hard. Oh my gosh. You feel like you have been through everyone. So growing your network is so huge. My husband and I, we do CrossFit. So we have a big gym that we go to. So something that I like to do is go to different times. So like, I'll go to like a 9 a.m. class one day. The next day I'll go to like a 5 p.m. class, or, I switch the times that I go so that I'm making more connections. And when I make that connection at the gym, I will add them on Facebook, social media, things like that. Just switching up my schedule has really helped meet new people, because there's, if I go at 10 a.m. on a weekday, there's going to be a ton of moms that are there. But if I go, maybe 5:30, there's going to be, it's bro time, and they're, whatever. And I can make that connection either with my husband or whatever. So I really use my gym as that. And I also drop into other places. So, I may decide that I want to go do a Les Mills class at a different gym on Tuesday. I'll drop in and pay $10, and I kind of make connections there, because that's my go-to, is the fitness. So, someone said, how do you meet people at the gym? I'm super nervous. I don't really even like talk about Thrive. I thrive out loud. I have my DFT on. But I just talk about kids, or I talk about whatever, like, oh, like, you're here at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. What do you do for a living? Or, whatever it is, make that connection. And I find out their name, and then I'll find them on social media. And then we build that connection. And next time I can be like, oh my gosh, I saw you guys just went to Disney. Was it awesome? Like, how long were the lines? Whatever. Building those connections with other things. And then they see you're thriving. And then obviously they're going to open that door, and they'll be like, yeah, I was in Disney. I was exhausted, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, well, let me tell you about Thrive. So, you don't have to just walk up to people and be like, hey, I'm a Thriver. Are you a Thriver? Da, da, da. They'll see that once you build that connection. But like I said, fitness is our thing. So we kind of go from different times at the gym or whatever. Also on social media, just recently, I've joined a bunch of like mom groups. So like Tampa Bay moms or whatever. And I start commenting on things and, reaching out. They'll ask for an opinion on something. And instead of typing my opinion in the comments, I may send them a private message and tell them whatever it is they were asking about. Or this lady the other day, she posted about what do I pack in my bag to my baby bag? She was going to have her baby this week. What are all the things? And instead of commenting on there, I sent her a message. I was like, oh my gosh, you need all the snacks and da 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 da. And she's like, thank you so much. And then all of a sudden she added me on Facebook as a friend. So now she's going to be seeing all of my Thrive posts and things like that. And you asked if I was like an Instagram. I'm trying. I feel like I'm old. Like I'm really learning.
I feel you.
I'm learning
every year. I'm like,
better.
I'm going to tackle it every year. And I never do. And I'm like, okay, I need to try this.
It's a lot. I've downloaded the hashtag apps and I'm getting better. I'm just not there yet, but I'm working on it. I've made all my pictures the same color. I don't know.
You know what I like about what you said too is like taking advantage. I think it's about also finding things that you like you like to work out it, and then just kind of, being social. And that's the thing I think people have the hardest time with is most people just want to sit behind their phone. They want to sit behind their computer, and I don't care what anyone says. You're going to have a hard time if that's all you're going to do in this business. It's going to be a slower ride. When I make those personal connections out and about, it's so much faster than if I'm working someone on social media versus when I meet somebody in person and we start to form that connection on Facebook. They kind of feel like they know you because they've met you, even if it was for 5 minutes. So, I just feel like people that kind of only sit behind that computer and they're not taking advantage of their day, like think about what you do throughout your day. You have to go to the bank, you have to go to the grocery store, you have to go here, you have to go to your daughter's cheerleading. I mean, it's things like that. And it's like, are you wearing your DFT where it's visible? Are you talking to the mom next to you, sitting in the stands, making conversation? It's not about bringing up LaBelle or Thrive. I never do. I mean, sometimes people will ask me what that sticker is, but that's never how it starts. It's always just, hey, are you on Facebook? I enjoyed talking to you today, or whatever. And if you're not in network marketing, believe it or not, people love getting new friends on Facebook. Like they're like, oh, I get another friend. Like they're not thinking about selling, I mean, I know we are, but they're not. And so people aren't like, no, I don't want you to add me on Facebook. They're always like, sure, yeah, here's my, this is my Facebook. Absolutely. Or they're friending you because they want more friends on Facebook. But I just think it's so like important to find those things, those hobbies, those likes that you have. And then, whether it's Facebook groups or even out and about, just connect with people, but stop putting so much pressure on yourself that it has to be selling something right now today. Because I think if people stop thinking that way, then it takes a load off a little bit, I guess. I don't know. But I also would love to know, like over the last 3 years, are there any struggles that really stick out to you? Like things that you were like, wow, that really sucked and I wanted to quit, or that really sucked and this is what I had to do to get over it. Is there anything that kind of stands out?
Yeah. So 2 things really sucked. Kind of when I was 80K, I just hit 80K, but like I said, it was like super fast. So it wasn't a lot of time. But I had that first person that commented on one of my Thrive posts that was just really nasty, like really nasty. And it hit me hard. And I was like, oh, like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't want people to not want to hang out with me or see me, in public because I think I'm that Thrive girl. Or, whatever. Like it hit me hard because like I said, it's a small town. Even if it's not a small town, nobody likes to have, your feelings hurt publicly on social media. And, at first I was like really upset and I was like, told my husband, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I just couldn't, I don't know. It was hard. It's always been important to me what people think about me. And that's just dumb. I don't know why. It just has been. So it kind of just hit me like, this girl doesn't pay my bills. This girl is not one of my best friends. She's not family. She's just an acquaintance that really means nothing in my life. And I need to just get over myself and push on. And that was like that moment where I was like, I'm not going to let anyone make me change my mind about this business. I love the product. I love what it's doing for my family. I love, you know, all the people that are in the business. Like, I'm not going to lie, our friend group has totally changed 100%. We have, like, we don't hang out with the same people we hung out with before LaBelle. We have a lot of friends that are not necessarily my downline, but like sister teams that are our friends, happy, positive thrivers. And then we have a lot of friends from our gym, and we are around positive people. And we just, at that moment, it was like, I was so upset about that, but it was such a pivotal moment because I was like, I will not be around people who are not going to clap for me and that I don't want to clap for. So it was like this moment where I'm like, all right, we're going to surround ourselves with only positive people, and the rest of the people, like, we don't need to entertain that anymore. And so that was huge. And from then on, it was definitely kind of a game changer, because when you surround yourself with positive people, you know, the positivity keeps coming. You know, you get what you give, and you get that back. And it's, you know, so motivating, regardless if they're thrivers or not. You know, there's a ton of people we hang out with that are not thrivers, but they're positive people. So that was one. But another big one, and it's still like, God, right in the stomach right now, because everyone is about to go on this leadership retreat, this 80K 200 leadership retreat, and I'm not, because I had an 80K team quit when qualifying started. And we're back to 200K now, but we made it back that last month of qualifying, but we didn't. It was 3 months. You had to be 200K for 2 of them. So she quit, her team went with her to another direct sales company, and we did not hit 200K 2 of the 3 months for qualifying for leadership retreat. And it sucks so bad that everyone is going and I'm not. But, you know, it's one of those things where you just have to keep replacing and you have to keep working, because again, that was someone who came in during my VIP window. And I knew already that, you know, you have to keep going, and the people that you start with are not the people that you will continue with forever. But it was a big leg that left, and it was a big kick in the stomach, and it still is. But it's something that we really had to, you know, just keep growing and keep pushing and finding new. And, you know, we have some new right now. And I'm really focused. Something from that I've learned is, when you see someone that's running, you focus on them. You know, if they are getting that VIP 800, you reach out to them, whether they're level 7 or wherever they're at, and you find those runners and you run with them. And you have to replace that volume, because you never know when it's just going to disappear, and you have to keep replacing it. So we're dealing with that kick in the stomach, but we're definitely back. We're back to 200K. But it was tough for sure.
I think that's a hard one for everyone. I mean, here's the thing that everybody has to realize is, you're never going to go through this business without losing people. And sometimes it's, you know, I look at my strongest leg that got me to 200K, and it's not even really here anymore. Like, the whole leg is gone. And if you are sitting back counting on the people you already have to take you where you want to go, that is a huge mistake. It's just not going to happen. You've got to keep going every day, because you don't know when somebody's going to jump ship. And, you know, sometimes when they do, you do have a lot of self-doubt. I mean, you question, wow, they're leaving. Should I leave? Like, is this not where I should be anymore? Like, do they know something I don't know? Like, we start thinking all of these things, but at the end of the day, I mean, when I look at, and I'm sure you can probably say the same thing, when I look at my legs that have left, they weren't doing well. You know, they weren't really doing well. You know, they might have had that 80K title in public, but behind the scenes, it was not an 80K. Right.
She was not still 80K, but yeah.
Exactly. And people, you know, and it sucks because people looking at from the outside in are like, oh my gosh, if this 80K is leaving, but they don't know that 80K hasn't been working, and that 80K wasn't a great leader, and that 80K wasn't even holding 80K. And, you know, as leaders, we can't just go out in public and start diminishing them, because then we look like an idiot, you know. But oh, sorry, my dog wants to go crazy right now. Hold on one second.
Yeah, no,
Sorry,
she definitely was not still 80K. she had a baby, took a lot of time off. One of her favorite things to say is, my team's not working. What do I do? Oh, well, maybe you should work. Maybe show them how to do this.
Right.
So, and obviously she's not successful in this next company that she chose to go with either, because, if you don't work, you don't work.
You
So
take you with you. You can change companies all you want, but you still go there. You're still taking your habits, if you're not working and you think and that's what people think that leave. They think, okay, I have two choices. I can either stay where I'm at and actually have to work again, or I can cross my fingers, leave, and hope a bunch of people follow me so I don't have to do the work. And that's really, really what it is. It boils down to that sometimes. So, it's one thing if a company's failing, but when there's nothing wrong with the company, you've got to look in the mirror, and it's hard because you invest in people. You get close to them, you put time into them, and it feels like a betrayal, and you freak out. It's like everybody block everybody, and everybody, we go into this like desperation mode. But I'm pretty sure that you probably figured out the same thing I did is, the people that are going to leave, they weren't meant to be there. And, acting like a fool and telling everybody to block everybody and freaking out, at the end of the day, the people that are going to go are going to go. And the ones that are meant to be in your business, they'll be the ones to stay. And those are the ones you want to work with. So, my other question for you is I think one of the biggest things, especially that happens over summer, but just in general, and it kind of has to do with what we're talking about. I think people fall into management mode a lot. Like they get their team, they kind of go 12K or they're 40K. And this can even happen in any level. But I'm saying like it seems to be where somebody's, they come in, they're really on that path and they're going kind of fast and they get to 12K or 40K or 80K. And then all of a sudden they stall out. And they stall out because they start looking at all these people under them and they don't know how to manage their time. And they get to the end of every day and they realize I haven't done anything to grow my personal business. And they start telling everyone else what to do. It's like, okay, I've got this team now. Now they're going to take me to 200K or they're going to take me to 1 million. And it's so easy to fall into that spot. Do you ever feel like you've been there where you fell into that management mode?
Oh, for sure. And I feel like some months are different. Like, or some weeks are different. I'll have 1 week where I'm really focused on my personal business and 1 week where I'm focused on digging in and helping my teams. But I think having that VIP mindset all the time has been something beneficial. Like I am obsessed with my PPA, and if it can't drop, like strive for 5, strive for 5, strive for 5. It cannot drop below 5 or I'm like, oh, I have to work on my personal business. And I think by, focusing on that VIP mindset, getting your 2 and 2 every 2 weeks. And sometimes it doesn't happen, especially when you've been doing this for a long time and you're going through. But if you're focusing on trying to hit that goal, whether it's 2 and 2 or strive for 5 or whatever it is, your team is going to see you working and they're going to also be working. So leading by example is something that I've always felt is really, really important, as well as digging in. And we're a big promo team. We promo out the wazoo. But I like to find a team where I'm like, okay, I'll go into that reps close to rank report is like my favorite thing in the whole wide world. But I'll go in there and I'll be like, okay, this person's close. And then I'll drop a promo, like a little promo, like a win a cup or whatever. I'll drop a promo in there and I'll try to build that specific team or, whatever it is. But that reps close to rank report is like gold. If you guys aren't using it, use it. Something about that report, if you didn't know, you probably do. But if you don't get that report, like say you're 40K and you don't get that report, you can copy paste the report link that someone else sends you into once you log in the Cloud Office, copy and paste it into the website tab and you'll get it. So it doesn't matter what rank you are, even though the tab's not there, you can get that report and see it and then go through and be like, all right, who can I help? Who needs help? And I think that that's really important, whether you're in your personal business time or you're in your, help your team's time or whatever, that report is really beneficial, especially right now. It's 25th. So like it's the end of the month. It's time to start focusing on who can hit a goal or who can maintain a goal even. Because I think also sometimes people forget, obviously we're not in it for the money, but we're in it for the money. And sometimes people forget, oh, toddler screamed, reps close to rank report. And sometimes people forget, like, having ranked personally enrolled makes you more money. So whether, it's hard to, like, you want to help people when they're hitting their rank for the first time, but it's costing you if they're not maintaining. So sometimes you have to reach in and, help them re-rank because you're going to keep getting paid better, if that makes
Well,
sense.
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, there's an amazing thing in this business called compression. First of all, it's not always going to be the person you personally enrolled that ends up doing it. They may end up quitting, and it's like level 8, so all of a sudden you're level 1, and it is your personally enrolled. And I mean, you have to work with everyone because ultimately it's helping your personally enrolled. So it's like there's not a wrong place to work. My theory has always been I work with the workers. I don't care what level you're in, because at some point it's going to pay off. If you work with your workers, and that's where we get so distracted is, and I'm probably speaking for everybody on here when I say that we get so distracted with the 80% of people that aren't working. It's that person. We're always so focused in the wrong places and just keeping like a schedule for ourselves. You have to have goals that you're setting for yourself. If you're not doing that right now, I'm sure Haylee, myself, I've talked to several leaders this month that have all come to me complaining. And we've all gotten there before, where we're just like, what the heck? But they're complaining about they're not happy with where their business is going. But I can clearly see that they have not doubled their effort this summer. I'm clearly seeing them not get on these kind of Zooms and calls. I can clearly see in the cloud office that they have a PPA of 0. And it's like, you cannot complain when you know that you're not putting in the effort, period. I mean, just, you have to look in the mirror first and go, okay, before I can start complaining about my team and what they're doing, I need to look in the mirror and start doing what I need to be doing. And at the end of the day, I've always said, I don't care what anyone else does. I don't care if every day I have to get up and build this on my own and do it just like I did when I started in this industry 9 years ago, because I never want to go back to where I was. And if that means that I have to do it alone, sometimes if I feel alone, that's somebody else isn't going to dictate my success or make me quit. And I think what's happening right now, and I don't know if you're seeing it on your team, but I've got a lot of people that are freaking out. It's summertime. They grabbed a bonus and they're like, oh my gosh, I got this bonus. And here's the deal. They grabbed a bonus the last month they could grab it. They went 80K or 200K, and they had a whole bunch of people sign up and grab kits. When we all know you can get anybody to buy a kit. Anybody can do that. But getting them to work, that's the hard part. And 1 out of every 20 people that buys a kit from you is going to be here in a year. So you can't expect to, in May, grab your 200K bonus by the skin of your teeth with a bunch of kids, and then you can't expect to keep that bonus through the summer when you haven't doubled your efforts. And even sometimes when you do double your efforts, you just got to be realistic about your position. You can't like go in the mirror and whine and cry and go, oh my gosh, this is BS and I'm not getting my bonus. I mean, the way I look at it is be happy if you got it for 1 month. It's a bonus you didn't have before. I mean, it's like, I know it sucks and you want it, but you also have to understand that businesses grow at a certain pace, and it's not based off of miracles. Not everybody you sign with those kits is going to work. So what advice do you have for those people that are like moaning and complaining and mad that they've lost a bonus and all of that? What's your take?
Oh, okay. So I'll tell you something about me. So I am one that runs with runners, and I've always said, it's a strength and a struggle at the same time, because I'm not dragging anyone along. Now, that's a strength because I'm not spending a lot of time on the people that aren't going to do anything, but it's a huge struggle because a lot of people's personalities can't handle that. They can't handle, like, they want someone to love on them and like, pull them along and cheer them on if they're doing nothing. So that's a big struggle for me, and I know it. But something that I found to kind of help is I've learned kind of these like 4 different personalities. We did one Zoom we did like a personality test, and I'm kind of trying to learn my leaders a little bit better. And I'm learning that some people, they need a gold star. Like, okay, they posted a promo in their team chat. I need to give them some kind of shout out somewhere, because whether they're working hard or not, if they get that gold star, all of a sudden they felt like they were in a slump and nothing was happening, but they got a gold star. And I posted on their Facebook, like, hey girl, I see you, like, whatever, you're shining brightly, whatever it is. That is their motivation. And then all of a sudden they're back. So it's finding what people kind of want out of this. Whether some people don't want money, they want to be like shouted out, whatever it is, it kind of like pulls people back. But I think those people that are struggling to keep those ranks, this is a great time to travel. Go to wherever. We're going to Minneapolis this month. We have a new 12K up there. We're going to do like an event or whatever. But this is a great time. It's summer. You probably have some more free time to go out there and travel and try to build those specific legs when, it's summer. Be okay with that it's slow. But if you don't go and meet and introduce yourself and build those relationships after the summer, when they're in that slump too, they're going to be gone. So, it's really important to focus on building the connections, warming up your market, doing all the behind the scene kind of things when it's slow, because it is summer and that's just the way it is. And, coming to terms with that, but making sure you're doing the behind the scenes stuff now, or traveling, or, going to locals, or, building those connections, whether it's just going to lunch with someone so that you still have that relationship come when people are ready to start thriving and, building businesses again come September.
So I know we talked about a little bit, like, you've lost rank before, and you can get so down, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh gosh, it's falling apart. And we get in these funks. Just, you do. There's no way. I don't care how amazing your business is. Maria Diller gets in a funk. Okay. She does. Like, she has bad days, and she probably has days where she's like, oh gosh, do I have to hear another person complain, or do I really have to work this business? I mean, we all go through that. What are some of the things that you do personally to, I guess, keep yourself motivated? But also, I hate saying this because you can't keep your team motivated, but is there anything specifically that you do to try to keep people upbeat and positive?
So Kelly Heineman did a Zoom for us a while back, like January, I think. And she really focused on how being excited is infectious. And so I try to get in my team page and go live and just like be super excited about everything. And you guys are doing awesome, and you're doing the things, and I see you doing this, and I see really just kind of putting out excitement pulls in excitement, whether it's, you're not really excited or not. Put that face on for them, because sometimes as leaders, and I'm glad that we're all leaders on here so I can say this, sometimes as leaders we are in that funk. Like you said, Maria's even in a funk sometimes, but we have to like put that face on, like, y'all, we can do this. We have to rally for our team. And doing that, like being on this Zoom right now, is like putting fire in my soul to get out and push harder after this. So doing things, whatever it is, whether it's going to an event or speaking live, or, hosting a Zoom or hosting a call, that fuels, and inviting those people to do it, just kind of being excited for them will help them to be excited also, I feel like, if that, makes sense.
No, it makes total sense, because I feel like you've got to find the things that make you happy in this business. And when you're having those times that you're down, do a lot of it. Like, it makes me feel good to get on these things and do this. Like, I feel even when I don't want to, like, this morning I was tired and I'm like, oh, I got to do that call. But then I get on and I'm like so excited that I did it afterwards. It's like one of those things that you're kind of like, I don't feel like it, but once you do it, it's like going to the gym, right? You're like, oh gosh, I'm so tired today. I don't want to go work out. But then after you work out, you feel so good. And I think you've got to find that thing in this business, whether even if it's going live on Facebook and just sharing something, sometimes, I mean, I know that makes me feel good too. So you've got to find those things that feed you, because that's how you're going to get pumped up. But you just can't let one bad day turn into 10 because then you're,
Sure.
the next thing you know, your whole summer is going to be seriously shot. And
Yeah.
the worst thing you can do in this business is have those times where you just don't work for 3-4 months in a row. You're going to struggle. If you continue to do this, it's always going to be a struggle. You've got to get consistent somehow. I don't know how to explain that
For
enough to
sure.
people. Like,
I
it
think,
sucks, but you have to
and I
do it.
think that we really, like, the longer we do this, we learn it's going to go like this, you know? And if you're down here, if you keep doing the do, it's going to come back up here. And once you kind of are okay with, that it's going to do that, it like, it's not so bad. The lows aren't so frustrating because like, I'm doing the things, I'm going to hit a break, it's going to happen. And then, it'll kind of go down here again, and it's coming. So it's not so hard because that next wave is going to hit. Like, the ocean is always rolling, and if you're doing it, eventually that wave's going to come back. So it's kind of like, if you don't stop, you don't quit, you're gonna be up here again. It's just a matter of time. So, when I get in a funk, I'm like, all right, it's okay, because guess what? It'll probably be tomorrow, and I'll get 2 new customers, or whatever it is. It always comes back up if you're doing the things.
I couldn't have said it better. Like, that's it. That's all. And it's okay to have slow times, but just know that you're not responsible for them, if that makes sense. Like, don't fall into that place where, okay, my team's not working, I just give up right now. You've got to work twice as hard when they slow down. And that's what's really going to catapult your business in those busy months. The stuff we do now, usually, the people we meet now, the network we're adding now, those are the people that are going to sign up in our business in January, February, March, April, and May. I mean, that's how this business works. If you guys have been in network marketing now for 3, 4, 5 years, I think you're starting to see the pattern, and you have to prepare for those patterns. If you know summer's going to be slow, then set a little money aside. Know that you can't go hog wild and spend every paycheck. Like, you have to think ahead, and you have to know the ebbs and flows of this business. And it's not just network marketing. You said you owned a boutique, right? Or a shop. Like, were you busy all of the time? Did you have months where you were like, how the heck am I keeping this place open? I mean, you do, but you
That's
didn't
when I
close it.
stopped. To be honest, that's when I stopped. So I was, LaBelle had taken off, and it was summer, and we were slow. And I was just like, I'm putting LaBelle money into this store. This is silly. But
Right.
It was summertime. It was just, that's how everything is. People go on vacations. People are spending money. It's just summertime. But like you said, if you put that work in when it's slow, it's going to come back tenfold come when it's good times.
Well, Haylee, I want to just tell you so much. I thank you for hopping on with us today and spending the last hour just sharing your story and tips. And I know I am pumped up. I love this call, and I'm so just thankful for you to just share your journey, because, people only see the highlight reel sometimes. And I love the tips you've given, and amazing. I'm just so excited. And I know that there are so many people on this Zoom today that needed to hear what you had to say. So thank you so, so much. You guys, we just got paid. Yay. Super excited to go check those awesome paychecks, and be thankful. Be thankful for every dime that you make in this business. It's a pretty amazing thing we get to do here, and I'm excited. You guys, I have a lineup through the rest of the year, so make sure you're on next week. Same time, same link, same call. Put it on your calendar. Make sure you show up, because when you don't show up, neither does your team. And make sure that you are pouring into yourself, getting motivated. And it's getting on calls like these and hearing from people like Haylee that keeps you motivated and inspired. So thanks again, Haylee. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys. Have a great summer.